let's go ahead and start making this. I'm going to make this I'm going to delete the default diffuse. And a lot of oceans that I've seen, ocean tutorials, use glass, and I don't like that because you can see that as you add some roughness, whatever, sometimes if it like intersects itself or whatever, you get these really black spots. There aren't any right now, but sometimes you do get those, and I think it just looks not so good. So I'm going to add a shader and glossy. Alright, so now we've got our reflective shader, and I'm going to turn that down to 0.1 so that the reflection of the monkey looks good, and we've got some awful amount of fireflies there. Just initially I'll turn that to 3. That'll lower it a little bit. Not much, but we'll fix that later if need be, if it's still a problem. Okay, so, one more thing to reduce fireflies is go into the light paths and no caustics. There we go. Cleaned it up perfectly. Alright. So now we need it to reflect something nice. So instead of this default gray, you can add like a sky texture, whatever. I will go ahead and add I'll do that. I'll add a sky texture. I don't know, whatever you think is good. You could go ahead and add an HDRI sky texture. That would probably be best. But for now, I'll leave it like that. I think that's too saturated, so I'm going to do is in the world materials here, take the sky texture, add a color hue saturation value, turn the saturation down to 0.75, and I like that a lot better. Okay, so back in the materials, I'm going to Shift A, add a shader, mix shader, and what I'm going to do then is duplicate the glossy, plug that in there, and I'm going to make this black, or actually not black, but very close to it. And this is something that makes oceans look way better. Is now that I have that, I'm going to add an input and layer weight. And what this does is it mixes two things like this based on a viewing angle or a Fresnel. So I'm going to be using the Fresnel, and you can see that it makes the as I move along here, it makes it either brighter or darker, and it pushes the highlights to a different part of the mesh. But let's see, maybe I want to switch these. Nope, I had it right the first time. Okay, so what it's doing is it's kind of reflecting more on the top here, and then reflecting darker as you look down into it. So, there it looks a